Give me a few minutes and I will show you exactly why some labels skip your demos. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Max Vangeli and I'm an A&R at NoFace Records, and I listen to hundreds of demos a week. I've been in rooms with many A&Rs from other labels and I know exactly what they listen to when they receive demos. We're going to walk through all of the simple and advanced mistakes that artists make when they submit demos, and some of the main reasons why some of your tracks have been skipped or not listened to by the A&Rs of some of your favorite labels that you are submitting on the daily. So let's dive in and see if we can fix some of those areas and get you guys a higher success rate at getting signed. The number one mistake is probably the most simple one to avoid, and that's the format. A lot of times I get demos sent to me, attached files to emails or Google Drives that require you to download. You have to remember something. A lot of these A&Rs or the DJs that are running the labels, they're traveling in areas with either low internet or not very high efficient internet whatsoever. For them to download these heavy files is creating a big problem for them. So you need to follow the rules that they request. In most cases, if you do not know, the best thing to do is probably send a SoundCloud link and make sure that it's download enabled. The reason why it's so important for it to be download enabled is because if an A&R likes the track and wants his DJs to test it, he can download it and send it over without sending you another email and dragging time. The second format I would probably say is Dropbox links. Those are easily downloadable also, and you can preview the tracks. Avoid anything else. Other than that, just follow the rules that each label lays out for you on their website. Number two is the email structure. You got to keep your emails super tight, straight to the point, demo for NoFace Records or demo for Defected in the subject line. In the email body itself, introduce yourself, tell them what kind of genre you're making, put the link for your track. The only additional information that I would add is probably some of the support that you're getting either for that record or in general if you're getting some heavy support from other DJs. That's probably important, and if you've had a track record on other big labels that you can mention. Avoid any kind of long stories of yourself. I understand that you may think that those are interesting things to put in the email, but I think it's important to get signed first and then kind of tell your story to the label once they request more information in that regard. But for the email, keep it short, straight to the point. Don't forget to say thank you at the end. Maybe mention some of your favorite records that you like from the label or what inspired you, but don't make it longer than a paragraph. Number three is dead links. I've noticed so many times when I'm looking through demos, and sometimes I delay the process because we get so many demos, so sometimes I get to a demo in a week or so and I click on a link and it's already dead. So if you decide to swap a track, you can swap that inside SoundCloud. You don't have to erase the link itself. You can literally swap the file, and that's the easiest way to get rejected, is sending a dead link. And then if I'm having a good day, I'll probably send out an email saying the link is dead so I can get that back. But majority of the A&Rs are going to open the link, and if it's dead, they're not coming back to it. So that's the easiest thing to avoid. Overused samples. One of the biggest problems that I'm seeing when I'm A&Ring records nowadays is overused samples. Vocals that have been used 50 million times on Splice or other places. If you are constantly listening to music, especially on Beatport and all the latest releases, you probably know what's already been used and abused. If you've heard the sample already, it's probably a good idea for you not to use it. And if you are going to use it, make sure that you chop it up, pitch it, change it as much as you can, because I guarantee you that's one of the best ways to get rejected from a label, is if you're overusing samples that are basically have been released with other big records. Avoid overused samples as much as possible. And then also, if you have a record that has a really cool vocal, to avoid the label already asking you about the sample, if it's from Splice or whatnot, if it's an original, mention it, that it's either original or it's been cleared or it's a cover. Just expedite the process and give them as much information as you can. Number 5 is squashed, over compressed mix downs that I receive a lot of the times. You have to remember something: if a track gets signed to a good label, they're gonna probably do a mix or a master. So it's better for you to send a mix that is not as loud than squashing it where it looks like a sausage basically. So some of the basic things that you need to take a look at is just make sure that your low end is not muddy and that you don't have too much high end. And I would actually shave pretty much everything above 12 to 14k on the top end to avoid any of that like hissing and all of that stuff on the leads. Make sure that your low end is mono. That's super basic stuff that you need to take a look at. Everything shaved off below 150 hertz to keep your mixes super clean. Those are just some of the basic things. And then avoid any kind of major exciters, things that OTTs that are trying to sparkle the mix. If the track is good, keep it as dry as possible, because the A&R is going to mention if they need to either mix it or master it. So you don't really need to worry about that. The job for you is to submit a mix that is listenable and it's not, loud, over compressed and unpleasant to an A&R to check it out. And finally, number 6 is probably the most obvious one. Just be a good person. Don't spam the labels too much. Probably follow them on social media, follow them on SoundCloud. A lot of the times A&Rs will see you following the label when they open up the links or they check out your socials. And that's key. If you're trying to get signed to a label and you're saying that this is one of your favorite labels, it's probably a good idea for you to follow those labels. Keep your emails short. Don't forget to say thank you. And then also, even if you get rejected, send an email, take a second and say, I really appreciate your feedback, because a lot of these A&Rs, sometimes they don't even reply to you. They just listen to it, and if they don't like it, they're not going to sign it. So if they go out of their way to send you a message rejecting the record, you should probably send back a reply saying thank you. So just a quick recap: always remember which format to send it. Make sure that you check with the label if it's a link, if it's SoundCloud or Dropbox. Keep your emails nice and clean. You don't need to overdo it on the emails. Keep it nice and short. If you already know that the track that you're submitting has a vocal that's been overused 50 million times, probably either delete that vocal or find something else. Get an original vocal, mention it to the label that it is an original vocal. That's going to be a huge benefit. And then of course, make sure that your mix is nice and clean. Be good with the emails, always say thank you. That's going to take you a long distance in this industry, that's for sure. I hope you guys are going to benefit from some of these common mistakes that I see submitting demos. And the number one thing that I wanted to give you guys a small bonus is take a look at your favorite records on Beatport and just compare and contrast. Mix them together when you're DJing and just listen to how your track sounds in comparison to the track that you love, that is a big record out there. When you're mixing a record together, you can instantly tell which one is louder. If the claps are too loud, the bass lines are not fat enough. So that's really good way to be able to tell where you're sitting at in the mix. And the one final thing that I want to say is getting signed is not easy. It takes a lot of drive and perseverance. So the most important thing is follow these tips. Don't get over anxious in terms of getting rejected. That's totally normal for everybody in the industry. Your main focus is to continue making better and better mixes, continue perfecting your pitching, and you will finally get signed. And once you get signed, you go on to the next release and the next release, keep perfecting all of these elements. Practicing pitching and submitting the right records to the right labels is going to give you guys a much better success rate. And submitting random genres to labels that that don't release that kind of stuff is basically just telling an A&R that you have not done your homework. So avoid these mistakes, keep producing, and if you like this video, be sure to comment down below, follow us for more, as we're going to give you guys more insight and just share stories and things that might help you with your career through my personal experience in the music industry. We'll see you guys next time.